So I wanted to kind of get your thoughts, obviously being an LA-based company, a US-based company. With legalization, what do you see, how do you see the Canadian experience versus the US experience today?
I think in Canada you've got two product form factors that are legal, right? You've got, I believe it's capsules and flour, and edibles will come sometime later. In the US it's somewhat of a free-for-all, right? It's a free-for-all on brands, it's a free-for-all on product types, whether you're oil or edibles or whatever it may be. What's going on here in Canada is that you've got this framework that everybody has to play within. And in the US, you've got statewide framework, then you've got municipality framework, and it can be incredibly challenging for companies. It's very hard in the US to create a national brand. Forget about the legal challenges, but just to be able to create a brand that has a consistent outcome from Los Angeles, to Denver, Colorado, can be a very different experience for a consumer. Just because you can't export that product anywhere, right? You can't transport that product into Denver. You have to license the brand and recreate it and hope that it tastes the same, and has a similar outcome. So to have a consistent experience is going to be really important. And so in Canada, I think that there's this massive opportunity to build consumer trust through consistent experiences with brands. Now, the challenge there in Canada is that when you walk into a retail environment, everything looks the same, pretty much. With the exception of a brand name on packaging, right? So in California, for example, where we're headquartered, you can walk into a dispensary and there's 50 different brands, and they all look different. Most of them are selling the same thing. It's a Shenzhen Special Vape Pen that's just got a different brand that has good, better, best brand equity program behind it, so depending on what you want to buy. But in Canada, you really have to rely on understanding who is the company behind this, right? How is the consumer being educated? So I think you're going to start to see a proliferation now of cannabis companies in Canada building education centers physically, in high density areas to help educate consumers so that when they move from that education center to learn about the brand and the product, they can then move into a retail environment, walk in there and be like, I want to buy the X company's product. I like how they're creating these products and I believe in their mission.